MSI. Right now, they are on the outside looking in. They do need to play a bit better. IG would be a great starting point. A win would be phenomenal. Even a tune-up would be great.
And we have to remember that Flash Wolves had a fantastic game yesterday when they played up against G2. If it wasn't for a Baron steal, it could have been the game going in favor of the Flash Wolves. So it feels like that they are gradually ramping up throughout the tournament. I think Rather is getting better and better. And now when we look at the draft, things like the Ryze and the Akali are both left open. And it looks like Flash Wolves are saying, we're going to take the Akali.
Yeah, with the Sylas band out here, no surprise, IG immediately will take the leftover Ryze for themselves. Such a potent power pick for this squad. Definitely threatening in both lanes, top or mid. And they also get one of the premier supports. Galio in the bottom side with Tom Kench already banned off the table provides so much playmaking.
I would also really love to see a Nautilus come out from the side of Flash Wolves. We've seen multiple teams pick it up as an answer to the Galio, and if they leave it go through the first half of the draft, it's just going to get banned away, and you couldn't end up in a situation like Team Liquid were where you're limited in terms of support options, and the Galio can then look to make a lot of aggressive plays.
Now Braum locked in here, certainly some aggression, some melee aggression here for the Flash Wolves side with the Akali and Xin Zhao paired up together, and that's still a hover right now on this Kai'Sa, but we'll see what Invictus Gaming want to do with their last pick, and that's now locked in.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Xin Zhao, I personally am just not on the bandwagon here for the Xin Zhao pick, especially into something like Galio. It does make it kind of hard for a champion when Xin Zhao basically has one direction going in with the team fight, and Galio is a really good answer, but we'll see if he can make use of the pros of this champion. Xin Zhao still in the early game can go for the aggressive looks. We'll see if they can make it work. Their tandem, pairing this with the Braum pickup, that does give you possibilities on the bottom side.
Meanwhile, I'm really excited to see Jackulov back on his Fable champion Kai'Sa. This is the champion that he chose for his world skin. This is the champion that I don't think so far at this championship he's actually, MSI rather, he's played yet. He's been playing a lot of Varus, and I believe he's played a bit of, Draven.
Yeah. He's definitely played Draven. Only 16 minutes though, so I don't know if we count that as a whole.
Least played champion by far at MSI, absolutely. But the bans come through, and it's two more marksman bans from the IG side, saying, okay, Kalista and Varus, the most able to punish this Kai'Sa. I can scale up, no problem. There's the Ken locked in right away to make sure they have their top laner for an early aggressive matchup. Both these should be good into Akali.
I'm actually very surprised, though, that they went for the Kennen so early. This, to me, suggests that they are expecting the Akali to go into the top lane, or whatever the Flash Wolves decide to play in top. The Kennen will be a good answer, because remember that they had the ability to save their top lane pick for the end. Right now, they're just saving their jungle pick for that final pick.
But they did already know that, of course, Hanabi's most played top laner is Akali, and there aren't any across the year for Rather. He is a mage player through and through. Vladimir, Lissandra, Orianna, these kinds of picks, so that's locked in there, and now they need just a final bot lane marksman pick, or even a bot lane mage potentially for Betty that doesn't play them really.
And I think that comfort is really important to focus on. That Orianna, you talk about him just picking up, was the champion that rather created the big play versus G2 to give him opening in that game, flashing in on Perks, trying to punish Perks for his over-aggression, opened up a possibility where Flash Wolves would be able to take that game. And now, with the Ezreal lock-in, they're also going to have that flexibility on the bottom side.
And a Kayn.
We get to see Ning's Kayn undefeated in the spring split. He always plays the Ross version. Unfortunately, no Shadow Assassin typically comes out from him. I know, Kobe. I know about the buff.
There's a chance.
Recent changes, though.
I know.
Make the Shadow Assassin quite a bit more alluring. And if you look at the enemy team, they are all quite squishy.
Well, this explains why they were saving it for the final pick. They wanted to make sure that it makes the most sense, because remember, in the early game, Kayn can be punished, especially against a champion like Xin Zhao.
Now, especially, we'll get a determining answer if you're playing with your food. One of the indicators could be a Shadow Assassin Kayn if he actually decides to go blue form. There are plenty of ranged champions.
Yeah, blue form Kayn. What's great is there is that synergy with the Galio, right? You get inside your opponent, Galio comes on top, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to come out as soon as they're all stunned, and then, bah, you go for the fight.
The reason we're hyping up, by the way, if you haven't looked at the patch notes recently, the Shadow Assassin E cooldown was taken down to 8 seconds once you transform.
Yeah, strong stuff here. So Invictus Gaming looking by far like the best team in the world, the best performing team in this tournament. That is unquestionable. And Flash Wolves, a slow start here, but they finally got that first win picked up. They do have a chance to start turning the things around. It's the end of the first round robin for these squads, and Flash Wolves need to make it into the top 4 on the outside looking in. Invictus Gaming, their opponents for this one. are on to Summoner's Rift. Invictus Gaming looking at a 5-0 start. 5-0's happened before. SKT did that, but there's never been a 10-0 at MSI. Ever since the round robins, there has not been an undefeated group stage team. IG on the road for that one.
Oh, baby freak!
Flashwolves finding themselves a fight against the Shy, who jumped right into some of his own demise. But is there more CC? The flash in and they get it! Even with his own flash, first blood to Boogie.
I love the timing at the end too, because if you're able to get the auto attack started, then even with the flash away, it is going to complete unless your enemy flashes into Fog of War. So then it's all about the timing there, and they get both the kill and the flash out of the Shy. The only thing here to be said for IG is that it was 2 flashes for 1, but that is very little to say for yourselves after first blood's been given over.
And to be fair, do you really have to be afraid of a level 2 Kayn early on? I think that once the Akali gets that Shroud, it's going to be very difficult to gank. So I think the fact that Bui can start with a longsword early on, definitely a great early game advantage that can set Flashwolves up for success.
My favorite part of that is that the Shy rushes over there headlong, ease right into the bush, so then he doesn't even have that option to try and get out. And Flashwolves on the board here versus the defending world champions. I'm a little bit sad to say, but the first indicator for me that Ning will not be changing his ways and will not be going Shadow is that it's a conqueror for the Kayn, so that's most definitely Ross. If you're going blue for him, then you want the burst damage of something like Electrocute. Ross, though, the reason why it's so much better for pro play, obviously the CC antagonist with healing, but here's another look at the Shy.
Shy's point of view.
He sees Hanabi.
He says Hanabi. He's like, okay, oh crap, that's Xin Zhao.
God damn it, Shy.
Well, he was going to get klepto
This is why people think that IG are playing with their food, because of plays like this. I mean, it was so overconfident to kind of make that aggressive move with no vision on the enemy.
I love it, though, because it encapsulates the idea that this team is always looking for the kill. They said they're not afraid to go for the kills. They're also not afraid to die for them.
How's he going to get a kill with an E at level 1, Kobe?
He's going for free klepto fuck. He's going into 1v1 Akali, auto attack him twice, get 2 extra gold, grab a long sword, win the lane.
Then you kill him.
Then you kill him.
All right, you guys definitely looking at the bright side of the Shy's plays.
You gotta be optimistic, all right? I know, like, Britain's gray all the time, and you're constantly pessimistic about the likelihood of things going well, but over here in America, we believe in doing things well.
Yeah, much like Freak's League of Legends screen, very gray.
That's a fact.
Well, so far in this early game, Flashwolves can be pretty happy. They've got advantages in top and mid, and while they are very small, it's nice to see rather having this pressure up against Rookie. I feel like the Orianna is one of those matchups that can apply a lot of harassment and actually do very well into the Ryze matchup, and rather really the only person bringing out the Orianna in this tournament.
Completely agree. Plus, you know, he's already performed really well on it. The only thing he's really going to have to worry about is the, passerby ganks from Kayn. Ryze can set up ganks very well. You have to worry about the Rune Prison. So they're going to want some vision around him to help him out. But topside has been the name of the game. Boogie found some money up there early on, so he's looking to return and see if the Shy goes aggressive once again.
Well, depending how this plays, we have seen the Shy using his E a fair bit for harassment and getting Kleptoprocs ready, so that the cooldown back down again.
A lot of this, too, is just waiting around for a counter gank.
Yeah.
They know that they don't want to let the Shy get behind like that, and there's a possibility that Ning would make an appearance, and you can definitely turn that 2v2 heavily in your favor, even with no flashes.
And you can see Ning making that read as well, as the lane is finally pushing back now. It's crashed into the turret. It should be going back towards the Flashwolves side. And so there's the ward. There's Ning waiting around, but the Shy, yeah, this is going to be a 2-on-2. Now the question is, how is it going to go? The E forward comes in. They're going to find the potential stun now on Hanabi. Again, it is no flash on either, on pretty much anyone but Ning, but looks like it's actually Flashwolves forced away on this one, and this could be some good damage. Has the red spike, good damage towards the Shy, down to 100 HP. That's the knock, and that's the first kill in towards Akali. Now it's Ning forced to flash away, and again, Flashwolves winning the top lane fights.
And again, you can see the moment where they decide, hey, we can win this 2v2. Akali just used the Shroud, Akali just used her E. Let's go for it. But they're going right into the Xin Zhao. I wasn't on the bandwagon in Champ Select. I'm all aboard.
Flashwolves
This down for life.
So this play, initially, it's Kayn who appears first. So Boogie immediately comes down. He's like, right, well, Shy has just used his E, so now we can look for the 2 versus 2. But as you say, Kobe, the Shroud is down. Hanabi's got a lot of abilities on cooldown, but Cannon this early on, very, very squishy. You can look to get the collapse, and immediately Flashwolves pick their target and shut him down.
And that is Longsword at work. That was Boogie getting the recall off during the first blood, getting the Longsword for his clear and his first gank. Now a stun on towards Valon is really good damage here, half HP, and Boogie is suddenly here as well. Red Spike plus a couple of Longswords, and without Flash, they're gonna land the W slow into everything else, and there's that kill picked up, 2 on the board. Now Rookie is coming down, level 5 on the rise. Health bar is getting pretty low, shall see. You can barely see under the bottom. Nice root comes in, and Rookie with the Flash does convert, but suddenly Ning here to make sure it's all safe. That's the 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Yep, now they're going to push in the minion wave as well. Flash Wolves sticking around, I think with the health bar here on Boogie, he should be able to stick around for Betty. They don't have to worry about another possible dive, and there's just a successful roam there from Rookie to answer one of the kills. But again, Boogie on the Xin Zhao, making early moves. This is one of the players for Flash Wolves that people are looking for improvements.
He's out, flashes in for more. The CC is a good damage out of the Shy. First ult pop.
You got 6.
Ooh, this is gonna be the 10th. One more hit will kill him, and a solo kill. Hanabi with the Merc Treads gets off the stuns and gets the damage in.
Yep, he's able to get that kill, ping level 6, and use the ultimate for the victory in that fight. The Shy keeps taking those swings.
We're not done. Battle ends near mid.
At what point do you guys stop looking at the bright side? I mean, admittedly,
They're going.
had the level advantage. Ooh,
3-on-2, shockwave over the wall. Xin Zhao, are you a believer in the bandwagon? Gets knocked up, one more kill, and they find that one. Now Ning is here, but exhausted means he doesn't get much damage, and out goes Flash Wolves again, finding the 1-for-0.
It's not so much looking at the bright side, it's thinking it's funny and loving that they always keep taking those swings. Flash Wolves are absolutely destroying Invictus Gaming right now, winning every single one of these skirmishes. They are on fire.
Now you can understand why the Shy went for that play. He was level 6, he had a level advantage over Hanabi, and his ulti can hit through the Shroud.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he just didn't quite have enough damage to find the execute, and that one minion died, giving Hanabi the level 6.
Again, the presence of mind by Hanabi. He turns on the melee minion, uses a Q, able to get it, levels up quick, then in mid lane here, Boogie goes in onto Rookie. They finish off the burst damage under tower, flashes out just in time, and even though Ning and Baolong collapse, they have a teleport for good measure defending their teammates.
Yeah, and I love the use of the exhaust that I think it came out from Radha with the unsealed spellbook, and it actually mitigated the potential for Ning to dive onto Boogie and then make it a 1-for-1. But now IG, they want to answer back. They want to help out their top laner. They have 2 members roaming up topside.
1,700 gold deficits, about what you pay for with those 4 kills coming in the way they are. That is that kind of straight up.
Here we go again.
Hanabi, flashless, does have the ult, but no Shroud. Has to play this out. There's the R into the E backwards, dodge the way, 0 damage dealt, and clean.
Clean indeed. You got a couple of Kane's souls right there. That's about it.
It's a quick blue buff now picked up, and Razor's going to feel rather good about this one as he's got the small CS lead. I had to do it once. It's like, it's too obvious. It wasn't funny, but at least it was said. And that's really my motto, I think, is it wasn't funny, but at least I said it.
I deal with this every day.
I can feel you. I feel you. I have my own version. He's called Medic. Anyway, Boogie looking for another opportunity up towards the top side. You can see the pings coming out. They want to set up a dive, and Ning is actually making his way away from the top side jungle. So this is a perfect opportunity for the Flash Wolves.
Yep, Flash Wolves set up for success here. Ning knows there's nothing to be had in topside but more deaths. The Shy only has his ultimate to try and outplay.
Well, he has ult. He finds the first stun. Here comes the dive. Boogie probably wants to pull aggro. E backwards. Now go for the play. Decent damage in. Now over the wall they go. Looking for one more shot. They get that one, but it's going to be an easy trade. And now he's got to run for his life. Finds this slow. That means the ult's available. Ning through the turret. Finds some more movement speed. Lands on their auto attack. Going to get a lot of damage into this one. Mana bar very, very low as Hanabi keeps running for dear life. And now a fight in the bottom side is going to be a trade on the supports. Oh! Gets answered back by Betty.
Able to get the dunk punch right there just as he goes down. Baolong very close. In the end, topside looks like he got away.
Yeah, Hanabi actually survived that. I'm wondering why Ning didn't use his ultimate. I wonder if he just couldn't quite get any range. Oh, it could have also been mana as well. We get an opportunity to have a look at that in the replay, but Flash Wolves, they're not slowing down. We love seeing this. One of the ways in which IG have been challenged so far in this tournament is when teams are willing to go blow for blow against them in the early game. And while we were questioning this Xin Zhao, so far it's been very proactive, and Flash Wolves are resulting in a lot of kills.
Zakilov takes a turret shot here to start it out, then gets hit with the Braum Q, adding that slow, and Betty goes for it. Nice ultimates from both of them to hit Zakilov, who tries to use his own to reposition and get out. leaving Baolan there, the target. And not enough DPS from Flash Wolves to finish him off before he gets the auto attack there, empowered with the passive, and trades kills.
And I think Betty could have committed for finding that 1v1 against Jackie Love, but because there was such a big minion wave in his face, he didn't want to run the risk. Those minions this early on into the game can add a lot of extra damage, so why not just be happy with the kill that you picked up?
And funnily enough, the exhaust actually could have been on Baolan instead. He was the one actually able to follow through, but you almost never do that. I don't really blame Xiaoxi for that, but it could have been something a bit different. Either way, you can see how different this game is for Flash Wolves compared to their normal. They had been having a very rough group stage, now winning against the world champions.
And kind of how similar this is for IG to their game versus Fongbu Buffalo. Oh, never mind. Mid lane, we might have another fight.
Yep, could be similar with Ning coming over the wall. That's going to be a lot of follow-up crowd control. The ult coming in by as well. Shockwave cannot come down in time, and Rookie on the board with a second.
Very clean dive coming out from Invictus Gaming. Baolan has been looking for a lot of roams so far in this early game, and typically Flash Wolves are there to answer, but this time around they were not, so they find the kill. But Boogie going in.
True shot, Barrage finds a bit of space. Stopwatch gets a couple of seconds in. Ezreal over the wall, forcing the flash of the Baolan. And then out goes the squad, no kills picked up.
And with this continued fighting, check the gold again, my friends, because IG have fought their way right back into it. That's why you never stop looking for the opportunities, Vedius.
I mean, this is what IG do, right? They look like they're falling behind. You sit there and go, is this it? Is this finally the moment where they drop? And then they just do stuff that impresses everyone, and they suddenly have a gold lead once again. Even though they're down in kills, the gold is incredibly close. The bot lane is doing well in the 2 versus 2, and while the Shy is at a deficit, Rookie, with that kill that he picked up, now leads up against Rob.
I don't have the exact quote from the interview from yesterday, but the Invictus Gaming players talking about this a lot themselves as well, with the differences in their opponents and how they get a little bit looser in gameplay.
The games get more fun when they get looser opponents, I think. Something like that, yeah. And hey, this is a very fun one. We got an 11-kill game in 12 minutes. An exciting one here for IG. And if this really is them choosing to toy with their food and play looser against easier opponents, I'm for it.
Well, Red Cane has now just been picked up for Ning. Once he completes that Black Cleaver, that's really where he gets to the point that I find Red Cane the most difficult to deal with. The amount of sustain that he gets is pretty ridiculous, and he does very well against tanks usually, but even then, he just naturally has a lot of sustain coming out of this game.
Yeah, the sustain is one of the biggest parts of the advantage for Ross. The other, of course, is the big knockup that you can get. Meanwhile, Dragon started up by Flash Wolves, and this Infernal Drake is definitely going to go a long ways towards boosting up their mid and late game.
Now fighting the top side is Ning. Wants to get revenge against Hanabi from all those dives from earlier on. And the Shy is here as well. Pops the ult, pops the flash. Really going for this one. And Hanabi able to burn both ults, burn the flash, and get away from that fight. Trading summoner spells, trading ultimates.
Another very good escape here from the top laner of Flash Wolves. Hanabi has been a guy that got a lot of the resources in the new Flash Wolves. Boogie wants to collect some of the kills that have been left behind.
Rather behind him, and no easy escape tools for the Shy. This should be possible as they try to make sure they cut off the escape tool. Shots coming by Rookie now as well. Ning gets knocked on Hanabi. Does have ulti available. They're going to find almost that first kill. Quickly pops the ultimate. Here comes everyone else. Shockwave builds a bunch of space, and now Baolan says, I am here, but he's in the middle of the opposing team. Slowed down. Stopwatch gives him a quarter second, and here comes the re-engage. They find another slow. They find that kill, rather, on the board of his first. Now it's the Rookie who's trying to run away. Gets a shield. Flashes out. One more skill shot, but they can't quite land it. It's IG limping away, but losing more members.
This top lane has just been a pit of endless loss for the Invictus Gaming members. They keep trying to turn it around for themselves, but Flash Wolves,
Rookie's still here. Why is he still here? He kills a minion and goes, all right, I got you.
They really, really want to correct those mistakes from the top side, but they just end up making more and more errors around it. Flash Wolves doing such a good job punishing Invictus Gaming for their hubris on the top half of the map.
And mad props to Hanabi. This guy, even though a lot of pressure's been thrown his way, has been finding multiple outplays, escaping Ning at least twice this game now. And look at how patient he is. He waits for the flash to come in from the Shy, then he flash ults, then he uses the E, and then he slowly walks it back towards the lane, knowing that, okay, I'm going to have 4 members topside. Baolan reads the play as well, and he thinks that with his ultimate, maybe they can turn this.
Yeah, Invictus Gaming have the thought there's no man left behind, so everyone's going to go in here, try and save them after this failed play, but it's the sunk cost fallacy, and they just end up losing even more. Baolan uses the ultimate, he uses the stopwatch, he also goes down. And then Rookie just left. He has to flash away as well. It's just summoner spells. It's deaths. It's everything just falling into this pit. And now it's up to Flash Wolves to make this early lead turn into a victory. Everything for Flash Wolves in this tournament is for them to try and move on to the group stage. A win here goes so far in getting them there.
And that's the biggest question for me, Kobe. Can they convert this into an actual win? Because just taking the outer towers against IG is an accomplishment, but to actually break into their base, threaten the Nexus, is an entirely different challenge. We've already said it so much this game, IG will fight you at all costs, and just because you have a lead, do not think that that will slow them down.
Just because the Shy is 0-5 doesn't mean he won't flash into your face and try and
Under
fuck you up
turret?
good.
Yes, that's been 3 times so far. Sadly, it's why he's 0-5, so it's not been working great, but this is IG. This is how they come back into games anyways. One of those times that fight will go correctly for them. There's 450 bonus gold in bounties available to them if those fights do go well. But right now, mid lane being sieged, Herald being summoned. This should be turret number 2 to Flash Wolves. And in about 100 seconds, Cloud Drake will spawn, and that, if they can keep the gold lead, probably goes to them as well.
All right, Rift Herald should be able to finish up this tower. Flash Wolves take down mid lane as well. Only one outer turret left, and they turn their eyes towards the bottom half of the map.
Kobe, I noticed that there is a Caulfield Warhammer sitting on Ning right now. Could he perhaps be going for a
Oh, baby. Now, a Duskblade is an option. I actually love the Rush of Death's Dance.
Yeah.
Okay,
Statistically, in solo queue at least, it is the highest win rate item that you can add to a Rost. He does also have the makings, of course, of a Hex Drinker, so might be looking for the AP safety for himself, considering there is double AP solo laners as well as Kai'Sa, which adds some sort of damage. But hopefully, for me, I would really love to see a Death Stance, because that's where you really get the kind of 1v5 plays happening.
Infinite sustain on everyone, but it looks like bottom turret's going to fall without too much issue as Ryder comes down. IG have 2 defenders. Ning can't get over the wall against that one. So the follow through from Ezreal has to get away from the True Shot Barrage. Burns flash for it. Ning barely survives.
Only barely able to escape from that one. Ning still very squishy on this Khan right now, so he has to respect the damage output the Flash Wolves have. Fully completed Luden's Echo on rather the Gunblade finish for Hanabi in the top lane as well. Flash Wolves in a very strong position as they secure the final outer tower against Invictus Gaming. And we said, yes, this is a big accomplishment against Invictus Gaming, but now the next step, being able to control the enemy jungle, starve Invictus Gaming out of those jungle resources, being able to threaten those tier 2s is an entirely separate challenge.
Yeah, and we've got a neutral objective spawning here. Cloud Drake up and ready for them to control. All outers have been taken. They send Betty to the top side to push it first. His teleport is actually not available, so this is just Ezreal trying to push out the wave, and they'll have to wait a second for him to get back down there.
Well, we'll see if it's an opening that somehow IG can use for their own benefit, though. If there's a 7,000 gold marksman who's not part of the fight, and indeed IG walks right over there. Betty's going to be walking the long way down, and even though Ning's not here, it's IG pushing as fast as they can.
Yeah, this is showing good cooldown tracking here from Invictus Gaming. Knowing that the Ezreal doesn't have teleport, they see him top side, push that wave, they trade, get the Cloud Drake for themselves in exchange for a minion wave pushing on top side. That is a great trade any day of the week.
Looking at the vision right now for the top side of the map, notice how everything is being set up in favor of the Flash Wolves. You can notice that vision slowly being crept in deeper and deeper into the enemy jungle so that they can set up around this Baron area is a really good foresight from the side of Flash Wolves. Yes, it's still very early for a Baron, but gaining control over that area of the map gives a lot more freedom for players like the Orianna to be able to push without the risk of getting collapsed.
All right, let's play a game. This may be one of my favorite games.
League of Legends?
Putting yourself, yeah, there you go.
All right. One point to me.
Let's queue up, freak.
All right, sure. We're eligible.
Honestly, though, putting yourselves in the shoes of Invictus Gaming and knowing that they are looking for that comeback play, they have a lot of tools available to themselves, right? We keep talking about the Shy and his Luna's flash forward on Kennen. He does have the double spell penetration as well as proto belt built.
Sure.
So him plus the Galio plus Kai'Sa as well as Kayn all have the possibility here of jumping on one of these big plays. Now, the biggest deterring factor that they have to deal with is what Vedius just pointed out with the minimap. All of these wards and trying to get themselves into one of those flanking positions to find that initiation.
My eyes will be on someone like Rookie to see if he can make a round warp play and ideally find a pick, because I think in a straight up 5v5, Invictus Gaming composition, while they do have options, I'm not sure if it is the strongest in terms of setup. Perhaps that with a Rise hitting front to back, it might be okay because there's not a real frontline on the side of Flashwolves, but I look at Orianna, I look at the split push power, and not split, but the separating power that a Xin Zhao has, and the amount of poke that Betty can throw out. I feel like it will be difficult if IG just try to force a 5v5 right now.
Got to be that Flash Cannon ultimate. See if they can find him. JackieLove!
JackieLove getting hit, has to flash away, barely on his true shot. Barrage knocked up by Braum. The flash over, Betty gets a kill, but he's got to watch out. Getting jumped back on by Ning, who pops in the ulti, gets some damage. Betty does go down. 1 for 1 so far. The 4v4 begins. A Shockwave finds one. Battleland is down. Another kill comes in as Ning drops as well. The Shy, willing to flash in, does find a single kill for the squad as Xiaoxi has to run away. But Rookie on the Akali running for dear life. Sorry, on the Rise does go down as Orianna finds yet another one. And it's the Shy left alone. 0 and 6 could be the scoreline. And it indeed is. Red Buff takes him down. An ace for Flashwolves.
Massive team fight win for the Flashwolves, and it all comes off the back of Betty. Finding the pick onto JackieLove is exactly the kind of pick that Flashwolves needed. They'll break the tier 2 towers, and Flashwolves extend the gold lead.
Betty, the core member of Flashwolves, still standing on Ezreal, one of his signature champions, is able to destroy JackieLove. And Invictus Gaming once again try and collapse on their lost fight, but Flashwolves take it home.
A turret and 2 extra kills.
It's exactly as you describe it, Kobe. Invictus Gaming is, they don't just cut their losses. It's literally just, we must protect every man, and if a man falls, we will avenge him.
I mean, it goes to correct thought, right? They're like, that's a world champion they're about to kill. We can't let them take a world champion down. Defend him. He's worth more.
He's worth more. Well, it's 5 world champions down in this one, and bring in Duke next game, maybe it'll be 6. Regardless, though, it is back on the map with the gold lead. Not insurmountable, 3.2 thousand, meaningful, but in arm's reach. IG, though, have been slipping farther and farther down. Flashwolves putting on great effort, and now Ning in a battle with Hanabi, but a big health lead now, and oh, this poor Kane is trying to run over the wall, does get away for a bit of space. Boogie Force have learned that, but look at the Shockwave, builds a bunch of space, the Shy wants to run away, they're running him down, and they're not quite gonna find that kill. Now you've got Ning actually answering back, that's a 1 for 1 that he will take, and a second kill in for JackieLove on his own skin.
Ooh, and we had a miss on the W from Boogie, doesn't finish off the Shy, so it's an extra kill for Invictus Gaming, actually winning the skirmish on the top side.
And here we saw the sustained power that Ning on the Kane does have. Even though he was in a 1 versus 2 situation, he was able to build up so much health back into his pocket, which allowed him to then dance back out and actually force Flashwolves into this narrow choke point where JackieLove and Rookie could just dish out damage for free.
3,000 gold separates the squads. We can watch that fight one more time as Ning walks in Hanabi. This is, of course, not a close fight, but the rest of it gets a lot better.
Yep, and then once he uses the ultimate, waits inside during the 2v2, tries to kite back up over the top. Once the teleport comes in from Rather, he shockwaves and immediately has to Zhonya's.
Yep, you can notice the positioning of Rookie and JackieLove on the outside. They're not being threatened. They're getting all of their AoE damage off without any real risk to losing their life. Meanwhile, members like the Shy, 0-6, Baolan, the tanky frontline Galio are just soaking everything up, and they're not afraid to just give up their lives because they're not worth anything anyway.
Yeah, it's such a risky move there to have the Orianna teleport in on the front line. You immediately have to shockwave and use your Zhonya's. There's nothing left. So props to Ning for going back in, knowing that he is trading 1 for 1 here in this situation and taking down the Orianna, but that is a trade up.
And this is something that Spawn always says about Ning. He's never afraid to give his life for a carry.
I think a lot of people say that about Ning.
It's just something that I know. It's something that I know Spawn says a lot to me. And he's like, this guy will always give up his life if he can trade it for an AD carry or a mid laner. And we see another example of it there, and it actually results in a team fight win for Invictus Gaming.
Like Ning's the kind of guy who'll give his life for Raptor Camp. That guy is
all right, freak. All right, you're out of your element here.
I'm very aggressive.
I'm gonna have to silence Freak now.
All right, my bad, show guy. I'll put it back down a little bit. Either way, still a tight game. The deficit now, only 2.3k. IG have wrestled their way back a little bit closer. The difficulty, though, is double Infernal Drake for Flashwolves, and everyone but Braum scales beautifully off that buff. You can see big CS leads. 4-0, 8 NorCal represent. Hanabi doing very well on the Akali, and this could be very good for Flashwolves as they are poised to kind of keep playing for that top river.
Now, Ning did go for the more of Malmortius. He is going more of the defensive approach. It looks like he will be working towards the Black Cleaver next, but he just needed that early MR against the heavy AP damage that was coming out from the side of the Flash Wolves. Both the Rage Blade and the Storm Raider are also completed for Jakilov, and he's picked himself up a bit of magic resistance as well. So you can see IG heavily itemizing towards MR, and they'll slowly get tankier and tankier, and this will be harder for Flash Wolves to really burst them out in a team fight.
Meanwhile, that damage from the AD side still coming through strong for Flash Wolves. Remember how many kills were on the Jin Sao early on. And as well for Betty here, the Ezreal now with a QSS can play a bit more aggressively and get away with it. Even if he gets caught within the Kennen ultimate, has the QSS to get out of that stun and continue to threaten enemy members.
Items still stacking up. And Black Cleaver on the way, it seems now for Ning. Adding
Teleport
more
did
CDR.
get used mid.
Adding more damage. Yeah, TP's available. You've got Jakilov and Almost the Shy has that one. How to be close to that same cooldown, but Betty's is gone. So it is until Ryther can burn his exhaust on the spellbook. Won't have that same match.
So we can also see, if we have a very quick look once again at the minimap, you'll notice that the bot lane is actually pushing in favor of the Flash Wolves. They're consistently moving towards the mid lane to get priority in this lane, and they also have top pushed up as well. This allows them to gain priority around the river and set it for this Baron. The problem that they have is that they've got no front line to be able to tank the Baron, so if they commit to it, they run the risk of taking a lot of damage before the fight even starts.
Meanwhile, Invictus Gaming trying to check here with all the control wards put down by Flash Wolves.
He's not strangled all division just yet. There is, you can see that red health barred ward up at the top of the Baron pit. Hanabi on his own control ward walking away, but Rookie can knock down the vision. Shouldn't be a fight here. Actually even spots them with the long range overload. It's
Direct hit.
Yeah, battleship sinking. It's gonna be okay so far. And now spots him yet again. Will this be a fight on a Rookie? Nope.
He's got the Banshee's shield down. Banshee's veil down. Let's go.
That is a longer cooldown than Twilight Shroud, so theoretically, advantage gained Flash Wolves. 16-8 now in kills. A quick tag on a Jakilov. You can sustain that, no problem, though. Has some lifesteal.
My biggest concern right now for Flash Wolves is it feels like that the game is stagnating a little bit. Even though they have the lead, they feel a little hesitant to push it because of how the last fight went. And they recognize that Invictus Gaming are very good team fighters, and if they mess things up, it could result in a Baron going over to IG. So even though you know, they want to show that respect, I still want to see them like push their vision deeper, force Invictus Gaming into this awkward position, and actually get that team fight that you have the ability to win.
Again, the biggest advantage here for Flash Wolves is the pressure that they have on Summoner's Rift. Top pushed in, bottom pushed in, vision control around Baron. They're supposed to be forcing Invictus Gaming into the dangerous spot of checking into the Baron. And that's when you hit them with the Braum ultimate, Xin Sao charging in with the Orianna ball. Those tools need to be used to continue to force mistakes out of Invictus Gaming.
Yep.
You cannot sit back and beat the world champions.
Gold deficit, only 1,700 now. It's actually getting closer and closer over time. IG, off of a catastrophic start, have more than halved the gold difference from about 10 minutes ago. And they still wait. Baron still not taken off the table. We get to the 29th minute now, and IG poised to make this comeback happen and look for that 5-0 at the first round robin. Flash Wolves in the driver's seat for now, but it feels like they don't have the seatbelt on.
Could be in danger here for Hanabi, but he just used the blast cone to get out. The other thing I want to draw viewers' attention to is the levels between the two teams, because while Flash Wolves have just been grouping up trying to gain lane priority, Rookie's been farming the side lane. He's now level 15. Jakilov has been picking up the farm in mid. He's now level 15.
Boogie flank.
Okay, they find a slow on the shot, put him to half HP, but even lower now on the Xin Zhao, and you've got Ning here. The flash gets him to safety redemption. He'll stand in that, stay alive here on this.
That's a lot of defensive utility used there. No more Sterix gauge pop here for Boogie, as well as the flash being burned. The Shy, meanwhile, on Kennen does have teleport, and they're using the roam up right into the Baron to push it!
That was spotted. Now, of course, it is the ward inside the pit, but TPUs, they're going to burn this one down, but they will be attacked just barely in time. Is the Jung's going to get into range? The flash over the wall. The spike's going to land. That's Baron for Invictus Gaming, and here comes the team fight. Slicing Maelstrom over the top. They've picked up one kill already. Traded back, though, as the Akali jumps in for a kill. Another for Jakilov, already onto a triple. He's slaughtering Flash Wolves. He finds the Quadra, and Betty and he is left alone, his team in shambles!
And just like that, Invictus Gaming wipe the map. Baron buff is theirs, and they will push right down mid.
Flash Wolves slowed the game down, and Invictus Gaming were using that time to build up their resources, wait for the opportune moment. Boogie, he tried to force the flank, he forced to use his flash, and when he was out of position, the Rise ult came out from Rookie. The rush down of the Baron. Invictus Gaming immediately swing the game heavily back into their control.
Again, even with the pace of this game and the Flash Wolves picking up so many kills around the top side, I never felt that Invictus Gaming got worried. And there, they flip the switch. Rise Ultimate into the Baron. They force it down so quickly, and then winning the team fight after. Now they have the game in their hands.
The Shy putting his life down for the carry. Puts on the ult. He says, I'll crowd control everyone. I'll donate plasma, all these stacks. Go for it, Jackie Love, and he gets that transfusion, picks up 4 kills.
And this is just an oversight from the Flash Wolves because they're pinging the red buff. They're like, oh, we can pick this one up, give it over to Betty. But what they don't realize is that the Rise ulti can be used to set up a play into the Baron. Rather does what he can to try and steal this one away, but in doing so, he puts himself in a position that allows the rest of Invictus Gaming to get the collapse. This is where we see Jackie Love just tear through the Flash Wolves members. He's got all of his core itemization needed to deal the damage to just rip through the Flash Wolves lineup.
Yeah, the Shy, you know, what's one more death? 0-7. Definitely very well worth it there.
And what's
685 damage! That is the best 685 damage. At least applying the stuns to set up Jackie Love.
And this is one of the terrifying things about Invictus Gaming. When you have a lead, for some reason, you're the one that feels pressured into having to make a play. Whereas so many other teams, it feels like that they just slowly bleed out. Invictus Gaming are always looking for an opportunity to come back into the game, and the moment you make that small slip up, they just grab you by the arm and drag you down.
Here we go, Flash Wolves looking to answer.
Ult by Jackie Love, still knocked out by the Braum. The really good damage comes in. They will find the shutdown. A good shockwave in for either. Flashing in for a bit more damage. They've got Rookie in their sights, but in comes Ning now, putting his face in the front. And now you've got a stun coming out of the Shy. Trying to build space. They will knock down Hanabi. And the rest of the squad running away, though, as indeed Ning did die. Battleline ult comes in, but doesn't find a stun. This kill so far is 2 for 1. Favors still towards Flash Wolves.
That was huge for Flash Wolves. Honestly, the Baron push was coming for their inhibitor turrets, moments away, and they choose their moment. We've been talking about Invictus Gaming still looking for their opportunities, but Flash Wolves here deserve credit. They flash in immediately, take down Jackie Love. They see the AD carry apart from the rest of the team, and they pounce.
Yeah, I actually really love this play from the Flash Wolves because Invictus Gaming, they were setting up for this 1-4 play where they were going to push in both top and mid lane, and Flash Wolves just saw the opportunity and went for it. A teleport flank came in from Hanabi. This kind of forced IG to split apart, and in that choke point, it was very easy to get the shutdown onto Jackie Love.
Boogie charging in, Shousey flashing for it on the Braum, and they make it worth. Putting a stop to the Baron push is so big for them in extending this game.
All right. We're back onto the map now with a bit more of a neutral state. That Baron power play, something like 4,000 though. And Invictus Gaming are now the ones leading. They grabbed the Inferno on the way out as well, so they've really answered those stats on top of everything else. The defending world champions looking at that 5-0 run for the first round robin. The expected result, but definitely not the route people expected in this game. Of course, they still have to close this one out. The chance of it to come back is still here. It's just a bit slim.
So keeping my eyes on the levels, notice how Rookie has just hit level 18, Jackie Love level 16. The Shy has now actually out-leveled Hanabi, even with the scoreline that he's gotten himself. But this is a very big deal, especially later on into the game. Having those extra abilities, having that extra damage, and the extra stats that it provides can be very influential in these late game fights.
Yeah, you're also keeping your eyes on those 1,100 damage Qs spreading through minions with the death cap completed Rise.
Yeah.
Definitely going to leave a mark. Meanwhile, Invictus Gaming trying to push back out. Guardian Angel picked up for both Boogie on the Xin Zhao, which is very strong for when he has to go in and commit fully, but also Jackie Love. This time around, he will be getting right back up in the team fight.
A limited crit on the Kaisa, but has lots of armor, lots of magic as well, and as long as there's shields, which guess what? Ma and the ulti gives you, he's in a good spot. Legend Bloodline fully stacked up. He can sustain through any one of these fights. He can probably even do a pretty good job dueling against the Akali. Elder Dragon spawning in 42 seconds. Just 7 behind that is the Baron. And a split I think is actually pretty equal on both sides. They both got pretty reasonable Drakes to amplify, and a full objective trade would not surprise me.
Very quick pings from the Flash Rolls are coming out onto where Ning was, meaning that they know they can get full vision control around the bot side of the map, and they actually have priority on the Elder, but with Baron spawning relatively soon, the question is, do Flash Rolls want to take that gamble? Do they want to try and trade this Elder for Baron? Maybe it's worth when you're sitting on 2 Infernals.
Well, Invictus Gaming kind of making their choices. You can see they move out towards the Baron half of the map. Teleport used by Flash Wolves.
They're making this trade.
Remember, there is still that 7-second, 8-second desync right there, so this could be this Elder dying before the Baron even comes up. But keep in mind, there is no vision for IG here. This is getting burned down rapidly, and there's no answer by the LPL team. So this will be dropped down, but can they answer Baron in time? The answer is very likely no, but it will be the very simple objective trade.
Are they? No, they're not going for the base race.
You can't base race Baron.
Nope.
You cannot base race Baron. Let me repeat one more time.
Kobe, I think you could base race Baron. They're not going to. Doesn't matter. No turrets going down. They get the recalls in time.
All right, Elder Dragon versus Baron buff. Let's see the showdown here.
A little bit of poke. Now, the actual damage output of the Flash Wolves team is higher. They've got the essentially 3rd Infernal Drake because of the amplification, and the burn, which is decent right now. The advantage, of course, that IG have is their buff lasts longer, and their minions do more work. So even a holding pattern does help the LPL squad, and we'll see if that does happen here.
It also sets up for the potential 2nd Elder Dragon wing condition, which lasts for 5 minutes, has massive amplifications, and if you're able to get to that point, it can really be a way for you to just very easily win the game. But the question is, can Flash Rolls even stall out to get to that point?
Yeah, I think if we get to that point, this is definitely going to be the longest game of MSI for sure. And Invictus Gaming with this Baron buff still continuing to keep up the pressure on the top side while they split the other 2 members. That's a Kane on the bottom right hand of your minimap, by the way. No way that Ning can join the rest of the squad. So they are splitting, keeping Baron buff on all 3 lanes to try and close the map.
I like using Ning as a split pusher, though. Getting him to level 18 as soon as possible. That's, you know, a champion who actually can still gain XP in this game. Rookie XP, of course, goes to waste, but he can still add one last item going towards Spellbinder, I'm assuming, the last slot. You wait to see what now comes in as True Shot Barrage with the last 40 seconds of Elder Dragon can put some damage down, but it's still just wave clear. It is still IG playing defensively, happy to wait out the Elder Dragon before that push really begins in earnest. That split push, though, working just fine. Kane to the bottom lane will kill that turret.
Slow and steady is what the game has turned into.
Perfect description of this game, I think. That is, you can leave it at that.
There is 32 kills, so quite a light game for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flash Wolves, they put up a very impressive performance. We talked about how yesterday against G2, they kind of had their best game, and coming up against Invictus Gaming, it feels like that they were prepared to go toe-to-toe, and I feel like we saw that in the early game. They were willing to play aggressively, and given the nature of how this tournament has gone, that brings a lot of confidence to any Flash Wolves fans out there.
And look at the timing. Double TP used right as Elder Dragon times out. Still 1 minute on Baron. It feels like this is, I would expect, the time when IG actually pushes in and strives for inhibitor turrets right there. The final recalls came in. Let's see what they can get with 45 seconds to spare.
All right, everybody just on the outside. What you want to do is try and sync up your minion waves, by the way, so that they crash at the same time. That's how you get the most damage out of the Baroned up cannon minions. If they spread out.
Oof, look at that. That's 3 button press, and Boogie's at half HP with Hysterics dropped. There's the turret gone now as well, and that means it's an open inhibitor. Still 30 seconds on the Baron buff. That inhibitor should be given away now as the autos keep coming in for the Shy.
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Invictus Gaming. They're utilizing what little time they have left of Baron to get as much as they possibly can. The top wave is now being built up. Xiaoxi could be in some danger, but they're just going to have to give up the next tower.
Double inhibitor dropped in that 1 minute window, used perfectly. IG knew when to temper the aggression, and with that window, bam, double inhibitor gone. Easy reset, and we're just a couple minutes away from those next neutral objectives spawning.
Again, you can't play PvE against the Baron buff. In the Elder Dragon versus Baron buff wars, Elder Dragon has to force the team fight while they still have their buff. That does not happen. Invictus Gaming plays very safely, staying back in the minion waves, keeping the pressure on, and in the end, they are rewarded with 2 very safe inhibitor kills.
And this will make things harder for Flashballs to be able to contest the neutral objectives that you were just talking about, Free. They will be spawning relatively soon. You can already see the 2-minute timer on that next Elder Dragon, along with the 2-minute timer on the Baron. This is going to be the objective that decides the game. Can Flashballs get out of their base to even contest?
So in 100 seconds, those things comes up. Second Elder would be gigantic for Flashballs. That is a team fight winning buff, and they can maybe get the comeback out of that one. But before that even happens, Ning is going to spot Hanabi. Doesn't land the Q just yet, doesn't land the W, gets that one as well. And it's going to be an easy walk away. All right, nice job through the Twilight Shroud. But we still tick down till that climactic moment. And throughout the entire time, you will have these minions flooding into the base. The chance at a siege. A team fight turns into a game 1 for IG, and indeed now damage towards Hanabi.
Woo, that one landed.
Yeah, that was big out of Ning.
All right, what can they do with this? Small chunk there. Hanabi trying to heal up in the fountain while the turret's under attack.
Down to a quarter HP, and the squad is coming down. All 5 of IG, but they're out of minions. TP flank. This is the big play that Flash was hoping for. Looking for the wards. Now it's about to land. Doesn't get the taunt this time, but finds a knockup. He's still invisible, though. Now looking for the play towards Ning. No, jumps over the wall instead. Hanabi could not find that flank, could not get it successfully. Out he goes. Instead of clearing the minion wave as IG look to keep the push in. Redemption gets Jack to the full HP, and this turret might fall. How good's the wave clear? Pretty good. It's Orianna after all. A couple of bits of poke come in, and the turret will stand, but getting lower and lower. Now top lane has to be cleared.
Exactly. Invictus Gaming know they don't have to force anything. The super minion's doing work for them, and now they're going to close it on the tower. The last inhibitor goes down, and it's just the Nexus turret.
It's just the Nexus turret, and the gold leads 6,000. Invictus Gaming looking to the 5-0 start to the group stage, and Flashballs now stuck inside with only 2 structures remaining of their base. The neutrals coming up in 10 seconds as well. IG could retreat. They could go for the end right now. They've got a cannon minion, but they're letting it get wave cleared. Still waiting around for the next super wave. Just dancing around, looking for the poke, looking for what that possible opportunity in would be. And Betty took the half HP, the flash in, looking for the play. Shotgun flashed out by Rookie. Now the engage for Braum as well. Xin Zhao buys in space. Out goes IG. Look for the Shy on the side, on the cannon. Looks for some stuns. Can't find that just yet. The health bar's getting a bit low. Could there be an engage for Flashballs? In goes Betty. Puts foul land to 200 health. Finds the Q. A nice knockup there for Ning. Jumps away, flashes out, stays alive. The health bar's low on the IG side, but the entire map is theirs to play with.
Exactly. Successful defense here for Flash Wolves, but Invictus Gaming don't drop a member, so they can still go get the Elder Dragon afterwards. They can
look
still...
at Flash Wolves.
Oh, Betty go for the steal.
Nah, too high.
Not going to be able to get that one out. And you can see as the super minions clash into the base of Flashballs, they're kind of forced to play on the defensive. They would love to be able to challenge for this Baron, but unfortunately they cannot. So this is the crucial play where the shockwave misses onto Rookie. Very quick flash that comes out from him, but fortunately Flashballs are in a position where they can just keep poking out. Love the decision making from Hanabi to force the Shy out of the fight before he can use his ultimate to really swing things in IG's favor. And then Ning making the last clutch play to just buy time for the rest of his team to escape while he then flashes at himself.
So see what Flashballs does right here as you saw Rookie deal 1 million damage last fight, and no one is here to stop the Baron. Triple inhib still down. It's simply wave through duty for Flashwolves. So there's the pick up there. And with Baron, IG sure must win this game.
Yep, they've got both power buffs on them right now, and they can head straight to the Nexus.
Flashballs, this is their last ditch effort. They've had such a great game against Invictus Gaming so far. If they can just have one more miracle fight, one more play, that could be enough to swing the game, or at least buy them a little bit more time to find ways to turn this into a win.
All flashes on the side of Invictus Gaming, save for the Shy, were used in the last skirmish. That is their only hope here.
Big shockwave, true shot barrage, glacial fissure, lots of CC and damage available, but can the team fight really happen? There's damage on a Ning, there's damage forward, half HP, there's the burst. They don't quite get him, he's gonna heal so much health, and Ning is back to full. In goes the Shy, in comes Braum. There he's already gone, there's 2 kills picked up, and they're gonna clean house here. Hanabi gets a single kill before falling, and Invictus Gaming will take down Flashwolves, down in kills, but up in Nexuses.
Invictus Gaming once again pushed to their limit. Things looked so good for so long for the Flashballs, but we were talking about it. They slowed the game down too much. They weren't pushing their lead. They weren't forcing Flashballs, Invictus Gaming rather, to make difficult decisions. And the moment that small slip-up came out from the side of the Flashballs, immediately Invictus Gaming punish.
Yep, Invictus Gaming, you cannot live them a moment before they can recover. and they're able to do it in this game quite well. The Shy starts out 0-7, but in the end, Kennen Ultimate still provides so much utility for the team.
I thought you're going, ends 1-8. Starts 0-7, gets 1 kill on the board before it's all over. Better. Outkilled by his support, winning. Better top 1. Regardless, a very interesting game, very hectic game, certainly some missteps, but great early aggression for Flash Wolves. We were wondering, could they play a pace that could keep up with Invictus Gaming? In fact, yes, they were the ones setting the pace, making good early plays, but it was stopping that. It was slowing down too much that gave the way back in. IG with a great Realm Warp turned into Baron, turned into a team fight, and control was there the rest of the way through it. So to tell you more about that IG win, here's a State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. Invictus Gaming with the comeback victory after a disastrous early game there for, in particular, the Shy up in the top lane. But I think it has to be acknowledged here that IG, their approach to the game this time around, quite different than, let's say, facing an opponent like G2 or even SKT.
What's the approach?
It was a different approach. I want to hear what the coach is saying when he leaves the stage and goes to the Shy and he's like, 0-7. We got to practice the comeback a little bit.
Level 1 E into that top lane,
yeah.
right?
Run, boy!
It's very interesting strategy here.
Yeah.
It's something I
Break
think
it
you
down.
have to scrim for quite a bit to get it down.
Is this limit testing?
I don't know.
It could be
what
argued.
limits was he really?
This is the one I criticized the most because like Ning comes in the perfect time, like I've got you well protected. It's like, what are we doing?
But he's
We're
a
going
Kane!
right in.
Remember, Kane suck!
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, Raz actually tweeted this quote from Ning that I thought was kind of funny. And it's like, basically, against the stronger teams, we really want to give it 100%. We really want to give it our all and show how strong we are. And against some of the other teams, we want to have a happier game. and I think that IG was having a little bit of a happier game.
I don't think the Shy was, but maybe everybody else.
He was
Yeah,
laughing on the third death. I was looking at the camera. I was like, is he sad? Oh, no, he's laughing. Like, legitimately, there's always that faith that they'll come back. He just didn't care.
Well, and that's exactly what they did. And so I think that is, to some degree, could be one of our takeaways here that, for IG, if anything, this this cements for me how good they are in this tournament, how much of a front runner they are, because even when things go as terribly as they do there, even when they're picking a jungle champion that's way far down the tier list, they still find the fights. They still make that one play in the mid game that flips the entire game on its head, and now they have control.
And to be fair to Ning, he does actually play it in the LPL sometimes. This is one of his kind of special picks.
We should make it clear, it's early game, it sucks.
Early game, it sucks. If you can get an early transform into Red Cane, then you become, pretty powerful. But that being said, I do think that IG, we're having a little bit of fun, but they got put very far behind. Flash Wolves, I think, were playing solid, up to a certain point. Getting the double Infernal, it felt like they could take this game, and IG did have to turn it on to be able to claw their way back into it.
By all accounts, this is a game Flash Wolves should have won,
Totally.
given the position they were in post 20
yeah.
minutes, 5K up, double Infernal.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, one of the things for IG is when they do decide to take it slightly more serious a bit later in the game, even if you are ahead, you still have to out-teamfight some of the best players in the world, and that's obviously very difficult. And we saw IG got closer and closer and closer, and then we were just waiting for that one moment before the Rise ult into the Baron where, they get some damage on the jungler, he has to
Force
flash
him back.
away, and it's small, tiny opening, they're like, okay, let's grab the Baron. And it's things like this you can do if you are IG, and it's so frustrating, I think, for Flash Wolves, because they're gonna sit now and feel like they had the game. This was their way back into the tournament as well. They could have been 2-3 now. Oh, sorry, 2-3.
Yeah, and there are a few things. Other than the Baron, I know we'll look at it as we go straight towards it, but Flash Wolves were taking kind of trades and fights. So taking a look at this, they find out very late, but remember you have a Kai'Sa in your composition, so they are able to not only pick it up, but take the preceding fight afterwards with the Kennen ult.
Yeah, and this is just, as Martin said, they poked out Boogie. They have him at low HP. He had to flash. They know he's either in base or going back to his jungle to heal up, and they make this split-second call to go for this fight. And then, rather here, instead of actually trying to take the team fight, he tried to look for a steal, it looked like, with his shockwave potentially, trying to actually grab that Baron. And that just put him in such a dangerous position. Your jungler is not there, and Jackie Love just is able to completely mop up the fight.
And you hate to see this kind of goal.
I mean,
hate to see it.
And Flash Wolves will hate to see that because, as you mentioned, this was their opportunity here to
It's an
move
important game.
to 2-3.
Yeah.
Face TL later in the day in Game 4. Now tied in scoreline, and then maybe even make a case to challenge for 4th place and a trip to the knockouts.
I mean, maybe even further, because we might be in a situation where if G2 wins their games today, IG will do the same. We have 2 teams who's moving pretty far up
totally
there.
separated.
And then Flash Wolves, SKT, and TL would have kind of been the fight for the following spots. So obviously really, really sucks for Flash Wolves. They can't actually close out the game, but also shows the difference in level. I think SKT and TL are like, they were watching this game in the first 30 minutes being extremely frustrated with IG because it was so clear that the Shire was just kind of like really running it down, even though he didn't have a reason to. But I think in the end, with them winning, it's what we expected.
Some of the takeaways, like legitimate takeaways you have on this one, because before that Baron situation happened, there was that top Tribush fight that went through that was actually a positive trade for Invictus Gaming, just because there are a lot of situations where they just legitimately are the better team fighters in the league. And so if you are SKT or Team Liquid, then you look at that and say, don't make the same mistakes Flash Wolves made in fighting into Fog of War. Because certainly if you're seeing the Shy, who is so far out of the game, can still make the best of those situations.
So, quick question here.
What's up?
It might actually be a huge question, who knows? Best team fighters in the tournament, IG or SKT?
IG.
100%?
100%.
Agree?
I would say so. I just think they're individually more talented than their opponents, and I think it depends what kind of team fight. If it's more like spread out and skirmishy, I almost always favor IG when they can break down team fights into these little pieces.
Yeah.
I do think in an established 5v5 team fight, Teddy is such an incredible team fighter, and SKT do kind of prefer to go into those scaling picks like LeCorky as well. So then that's where it kind of comes into it. But I mean, IG are just too good, man.
Like the old LPL analysts and mindsets will look at Invictus Gaming in 2018 and 2017. They didn't have that, right? But they really needed to become a team fighting team based off of like having to get past RNG, EDG, and JDG in the finals in the LPL. So it wasn't an easy task for them, but if they're so well talented players, like we haven't even seen like tank top lane picks, but the Shy can play them out to a great degree as well.
It's a scary thing when a team can go down that far in a game and still come back to snag the victory, and then all that while knowing that they didn't even start, from their greatest or strongest point, right? In that certain champions probably could have been picked differently, and even the mindset and playstyle could have been a bit different. There's more League of Legends coming up as Fong Vu Buffalo and G2 Esports face off next, so don't go anywhere.
What do you think?